having time at community day, I'll end up creating a Giannis Antetokounmpo build for y'all boys that's a 7 foot and 6'11". But I wanted to end up tweaking a few attributes for y'all boys before I end up handing this build over. As this build can be 7 foot or 6'11", you can end up being very dominant in the paint, but unlocking contact dunks and also having the ability to dribble up the court and even create your own shot with this build. But the defense on this build is going to be very good from even the 6'11" and the 7 footer. But we're going to start with the 7 foot. We're going to do 240 pounds with a 7'4" wingspan. It's very similar to my Giannis build in 2K24 with a 6'10" with a 7'4" wingspan, but I definitely can say this one has better defense compared to that build. Now, what's the first thing we're going to do is, of course, it's a Giannis build. You know he's going to dunk the ball. You know he's going to slash. So the thing I'm going to start first with is his standing dunk. Last year I had an 81 standing dunk. It was cool and all, but we might end up going all the way out. We might go 90 standing dunk on this build. Let me up the vertical. I'm gonna do 80 verticals. We might need that for our rebound as well, but we're gonna have a 90 standing dunk with a 87 driving dunk. I would love to get an 89 on this build, but I end up having to raise my wingspan even higher, and that caused me not be able to get the mid-range actual rating that I want to unlock most of the big man jump shots in the game. Now we're having an 87 contact dunk. We got the pro contact dunks off one. Now this build has a 90 standing, 87 contact dunks. Then we're gonna end up giving it an 80 layup. 80 layup is cool, it's decent, it can get the job done. But most of the time we're gonna be dunking the ball. We're gonna dunk the ball, or we're gonna end up doing standing contact dunks in the paint. So we're gonna end up going with this setup with a 75 close shot with this build. So you're gonna even up getting a few post badges on bronze, I think one on silver. I'm gonna end up putting this around like 60. We do 67, so we might end up getting a few post badges on bronze once I end up upgrading the agility and things like that for this build. Now for the playmaking, we know Giannis can get the ball off the rebound, take it coast to coast and things like that, even create his own shot and get to the hole. So we're gonna go with a 70 ball handle so we can unlock a few dribble moves, and then the speed with ball, since we are already 7 foot, we're gonna do 60 speed with ball. But with the pass accuracy, now you're on Giannis. Giannis is a great passer as well, so you got an 82 if you want to end up getting dimer. You still got break starter on silver, but I'm gonna be honest, you can push it to the 87 to get break starter on gold with the gold dimer and bailout. That's just a preference that you have to pick between. If you want to end up playing with this build in a rec, I would say go 87, but if you want to end up playing this build like in park or even just having fun with it, go 82 pass accuracy. That's up to you based on what your play style is, but 82 would definitely be enough to get the job done, especially when it comes to passing the ball to your teammates. And we know Giannis is not maybe the best shooter, but he can knock some shots down, so I'm gonna end up giving him like at least a 73 pointer. Between Giannis, he's gonna have a 65 or 73 pointer. You can be put around 65, but for the mid-range, 78 you get set shot specialist on silver. So if you want to be able to do that and just stop at 78 with a 65 or 73 pointer, you can. But if you want to raise it up to try to get more jump shot bases, you go to 80. But I can end up getting my mid-range all the way to 86 if I really want to. But for right now, I'm going to do 84 with a 73 pointer to end up getting majority of the bases in the game for builds that's over 610. Now I'm going to end up changing my mid-range. I'm going to make it higher. I'm going to have an 86 mid-range with a 73 pointer to let y'all boys know. I'm just messing around with the stats so y'all can see the difference when you end up doing certain things to say your attributes. You go 80 mid-range to end up getting some decent bases to a 65 3. But if you're going to use the high risk, high reward, I would say go higher mid-range, so you can unlock all the great bases that you can get on the game for 610s and up. Now don't even worry about the shooting right now. I'm gonna end up changing that later, but I'm gonna end up giving him like a 70. We do 70 free throw, nothing too crazy, just in case you do end up playing rec or it is an event that you have to shoot free throws. But now the defense, I end up doing a few different ways. You can end up stopping at 74, but I feel like if you want to use this build, you might have an 82 interior. 82 interior, you want to get that post lockdown on silver and other badges like that. I'm going to have a 66 perimeter. You can change that if you want to. We got a steal on 60 for we get interceptor on bronze. Even though if I even raise this max, I'm not going to get anything else, but that's up to you. You can do 62 perimeter and then max it out for the steal if you want to. But for the rebound, we got a 92 defensive rebound and a 70 offensive rebound. You can flip-flop those if you want to. It's all based on preference, to be honest. But for the block, I'm going with a 78 block so we can end up getting that chase down artist. Y'all know the high flyer. You know I got to get that high flyer denier on silver at least. And then we got that paint patroller, aka anchor, on bronze at least. But with the strength, you end up messing around with it. You can go 85, possibly 86. Just mess around a few things. And then you see I got it on silver with an 84 block. Now that's what going with an 82 pass accuracy. You see I got enough attributes left to end up throwing up for my shot. So I'm going to end up giving me a close to maxed out mid-range with this build. You do have one attribute attribute points that you can get 87 mid-range. If you can end up like sacrificing a few things on this build to end up getting that 87 mid-range, you will literally unlock almost every jump shot possible for the 610s and up, so you can be able to use anything that you really want, like the Chris Bosh bays, you got the David Aldridge, all those good bases like that when it comes to shooting on bigger builds. Now with this build being like this on a 7 foot, you can really go crazy with it. And then with the takeovers you get, you got above the rim buckets, you got Dr. Duncanstein, elevate, feather touch, then you got great wall to set them big bodies, intimidator, orchestrator, then you got physicality, commander. It's a lot of crazy takeovers that you can use with this build, especially when it comes to slashing, playing defense, and also being able to shoot the mid-range shot. It gets you a good boost as well. And even though you are 7 foot, you do get a few takeovers that you can end up using to help your agility, to end up boosting it up, get to like the 70s or even the 75s when it comes to be maxed in takeover with this build. But saying that 7 foot, 240, 7'4", 87 driving to get the pro contact dunks, 80 layup, 90 standing dunk. You got a few post-up badges, 86 mid-range to unlock almost every jump shot in the game. You're gonna end up having a Giannis Antetokounmpo build with shades of Giannis. Now you got Evan Mobley and Chris Webber, but the name they give you, it's a cooler name, nothing too crazy. They're gonna give you a two-way inside the arc threat, and that sounds literally what Giannis is. He's a two-way and he scores inside the arc. Even when it comes to shooting the ball, it's mostly mid-ranges, but he can knock a three down here and there. But for this build being a 7-footer, we do have a 6'11". Now this build that y'all making right now, you can also make a inside version of this at the same. Just take off the shooting, put your free throw up, and you end up up and passing the 87 pass accuracy, and just upgrade the post control and the actual rebound on that build. But with this build sitting at 6'11", 241, and a 7'7" wingspan, we end up going with the 6'11" to be able to get that posterizer on go. Now, I wanted to do a Giannis build with a 96 driving dunk, but you will have to be 6'10". So if you want to make a 6'10" Giannis build, like a 7'5", 7'6" wingspan to get the 96 driving dunk, that's what you'll have to do if you want to make it very similar to this. But the only thing that's going to be different is the attributes. I'm not going to be able to get the same amount of shooting attributes that I did on this build, because we're going to have an 85 standing dunk, a 93 driving dunk that unlocks a lot. You got Hall of Fame aerial wizard. If you know how to throw, you know what I'm saying, you know somebody who can throw you lobs, perfect timing, you can get contact lobs easily, and you'll be able to catch bodies within paint with no problem. If you got aerial wizard on that gold or Hall of Fame or even legend, you're going to be able to catch bodies with no problem when it comes to catching lobs and things like that. But when it comes to the shooting, bro, we got an 81 mid-range. You get a decent amount of actual jump shot bases, but with a 65-3. Now, you can drop that 81 mid-range to a 78 and get to that 73 pointer. Just know, if you end up keeping it like that and trying to give you a 73 pointer, it's going to end up killing everything else as the build. Because when I was in the build and I was trying to mess with a few things, it literally locked up the build and I could not even get like all my speed and agility that I needed for this build. Now we got pass accuracy. We got an 80 pass accuracy, 70 ball control, 60 speed with ball. It's no point in going past 60 speed with ball, to be honest, on this type of build. And then we got interior, 74 interior, so we get that post lockdown on bronze. Then we got a 62 perimeter, then with a 60 steal, so we get that interceptor on bronze. And then the block, you go 78, 74. I prefer you go 78 so you can get that chase down artist or high flyer denier on silver. And then with a rebound, we're gonna go 85 defensive, 70 on offensive, since we have to say some attributes, since we have a 93 driving dunk on this high flying Giannis build. Now with the strength, you can go 84 and just stop there, but hey, since we got a little left, I can end up going 85, unless you want to throw those attributes on the free throw, or you want to throw it up on your perimeter, or even your pass accuracy if you want to end up getting that 82 pass accuracy for dimer on go. Now with this build, I tell you this now, you might end up getting more contact dunks that you get on that other Giannis build, since you are going to end up getting alley-oop contact dunks now. Since you got that 92 driving dunk rating, you get elite alley-oop contact dunks with that 92 rating. So you might be able to catch bodies easily, especially with Hall of Fame aerial wizard. As long as that lob go up and it's a perfect angle, you dunking on that man every single time. But these are all the takeovers that you get when you end up making the build. This way I end up doing for the 6'11", so you get above the rim bucket, driving dish, finisher, horse, orchestrator, board beast, dunking stein, elevate, great wall, midi maestro, and physicality. Now you notice that last build got way more takeovers because it had higher defense. Now with this build, it's mostly slashing on this build and a little bit playmaking and just maybe a few shooting takeovers on this build. Now I'm gonna tell you this now, the one I like the most is the 7-footer. The 7-footer, I like the 7-footer because it's all around, got a 92 rebound and all that, and an 84 block. But this one got that 93 driving dunk. Even though having posterizer on goal with the, I'm telling you, For me, I feel like I would love posterizer and go with the way that build is set up for the first build, but it's just not possible to get a 93 driving dunk and also get those defensive stats and rebounding stats that I want, as we end up getting the build inside the arc threat. But I'm gonna tell you this now, for a Giannis build, that first one that might be the go-to. I'm gonna be honest, that first one, definitely the 7-footer looks very promising, to be honest. I can't wait to show y'all boys gameplay on this build, but hey, in the comment section, let me know, which one do y'all like the most, the 7-footer or the 6'11"? But make sure y'all boys drop a like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all turn notifications if y'all haven't yet. I'm gonna see y'all boys in the next one. I can't wait to show y'all the gameplay, man.